Welcome, everyone. It is February 4th, the beginning of a new business month. Um, and I'm excited about our team call today. We've got some good stuff to talk about. And does anybody want to start with any wins, anything they're celebrating from last month, or anything good that happened in their business recently that they'd like to talk about? Celebrate? Can be little, doesn't have to be huge.
I
Molly,
got
you started
one.
your business last month.
I did. Woohoo! I did, but I got my neighbor to sign up for a trio order. And I've been trying to get her to sign up for like 2 years. I've been talking to her about Juice Plus, and it was like a no after no. But then she started coming to some of my events, and she started really kind of following me on Facebook. And so I invited her to come to hear Dr. Mitra Ray talk this last week.
Yeah.
And she told me she couldn't make it. She had hurt her shoulder. And at the last minute, she called me and she said, "Hey, can I still come with you?" I said, "Sure, come on, I'll drive." And took her, and she wanted to place her order on the way home in the car. So
The power of events, right?
right. Keep going. Keep working on people. They'll say yes.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, good. Um, let's see. Sully's not on yet. She's supposed to share her story, but I don't see her yet. Um, so if Molly, do you want to go ahead and start with, okay, so I invited Molly to share because Molly's just been super active in January. She's just had a lot of activity, full calendar. She's been doing a lot of fun stuff, a lot of really great posting on social media. And I hope I'm not like stealing what you were going to talk about, but I've just been watching her.
No, it's fine.
She lives in Washington State, so all I get to see is really, on social media. And, she just has this super positive, bubbly, attractive presence on social media that I know she's worked hard to create, although she is super happy, bubbly, and attractive person in real life too. But having that, that authentic Molly, come through on social media is definitely it's not something that's easy, and it's not something that is without effort. So she's just really been so consistent with her activity this past month, and so focused on her goals. And so I invited her to share just a little bit about, I want you to share your, I know you've shared your product story, so if you want to just do a little product story kind of as an introduction, and then a little bit of your business story, and then just kind of share some of the stuff that you've been really committing to that's been really working for you in the past month or so.
Sure. I guess I'll share a little bit of like a tiny product story, maybe that you haven't heard, because I really got started on Juice Plus for my daughter, and I didn't really think I needed it for me. But with the Children's Health Study, we all know that we get healthy alongside our kids, and what we do runs down the leash, right? So before I started Juice Plus, I really thought I was healthy, but I didn't understand the lifestyle thing. I didn't really get the body. I'm more of a plant person. My background is plants. So I got that, but not the body. And starting the Shred 10, when I did 230, I was terrified that I was going to have to make all these lifestyle changes. But the One Simple Change helped me make one simple change at a time. And 2 years later, after really flooding my body with Juice Plus, I don't take ibuprofen anymore. I had chronic back pain. And so now not taking ibuprofen ever is completely foreign to me. I had some digestive issues that cleared up. I just overall sense of wellness, and I mean, it lowered my stress level, right? So all of those things, it really was so great for me. And when I signed up for the business, maybe 6 or 7 months after I had started Juice Plus. And I signed up because I had just lost my mother-in-law with stage 4 cancer, and I was full-time caregiving for her, and I needed to find something to pour myself into, and I was going to go back into real estate. and because I needed a side gig with time freedom. And when Wendy told me this only was $50, I was like, well, I'm going to try that first because $50 is way cheaper than picking up a professional license again. So I went gung ho at the beginning. I thought, I got this. I'm like you said, Carmen, I do fine on social media. I'm like, marketing is a high point for me. I'm an extrovert, and I'm surrounded by lots of people that love me. I'm constantly inviting people to be a part of my life. But when I first started this, it was hard for me because I started trying to go about it like I was selling something. And it took me a whole year to realize that I'm not selling myself. I'm not selling something. I'm promoting myself to be my best product. And I need to share myself with people and share the message with people and let them come along on their own terms instead of trying to kind of put my terms on others, like helping. Instead of me trying to help and heal everyone, I decided just to share the message and let them heal themselves and come along if they want to. And that's completely changed how I see my business. And so I'm trying to repair some things that happened to me in that year. I lost a lot of customers along the way because I was really trying to sell instead of trying to share. And so now I'm really working my business. I started sidelined with some Shining Star girls here locally to me because I don't have a lot of local team. And so I've been kind of following their Shred 10 groups and things like that. And that's been tough. It's tough to do the Shred 10 groups if you don't have a big team doing the Shred 10 with you, I think, and leaning on our Facebook group for that. But this month I've been doing the 90-day game, and the activity that I get from the 90-day game is what's really driven me. Just waking up every day and sharing, waking up every day and sharing, waking up every day and posting something on my social media and being more consistent has allowed me to make appointments with people. So now my calendar is full of not just fun events that I've been doing with some sideline team. We've been doing salad parties and our Wonder Woman Academy. If you guys want to know what that is, you can message me and I'll share. It's awesome. It's kind of like a Boss Babes. And just activity like that and our big events here in the Pacific Northwest. But then just daily coffee appointments. I've been doing a lot of coffee appointments and just getting to know people. And I realized that I changed that. I had that big group of people around me because I'm an extrovert. But they all needed me for something. And recently I've kind of shifted that group of people. Instead of surrounding myself with people that need something from me, I've surrounded myself with people that need me to be bigger and be better and step up more. And that's driving me forward to keep sharing with everyone. And if I share Juice Plus with everyone I know, unconditionally, like I don't care if they sign up or not, I'm just going to tell them about it, then they can make the decision whether they're going to join or not. And it's up to them. It allows me to find the people who I really need to share it with, right? If I share it with everyone. So that's what I've been doing. 90-day game rocks. Hold yourself accountable and make sure you're doing it for them and not you.
And what's your goal for Phoenix, Molly?
I'm working on SC for Phoenix. I'm building strong, and I decided I was kind of scared at first because I was like, how do you control I can't control who orders for me. I can talk to people, but I can't make them, sign on the line. I don't want to push people into it too much. So it's hard for me to have big goals that have to do with numbers. But I decided I already fast tracked to VF one time, right? I did a fast track. And so I'm just working on that again, working on those numbers. Something I've already done. I know how to do it. So I'm just going to do it again and keep talking to people. I have appointments this whole week. I have something every single day. It's great.
Well, Allison Funky would tell you that you have an A+ business if you have that many appointments on your calendar every week. So,
good.
So who don't know Allison Funky, she's a national marketing director and she's under Don Rathman. And Don Rathman is just like incredibly successful and just, I mean, the amount the things that she's gifted our Juice Plus community with, as far as, you know, training and tools and things like that, is just like unsurpassed. She just won the Founders Award from our company this past October. Anyways, and so Allison is under Dawn. And when Allison was getting started, Dawn said that, you know, you need to make social appointments one-on-one with non-active team members or prospects or customers. And she recommended 3 a week. And she said, but Allison, I know that you're an A student. And so if you want to be an A student, you know, 3 a week is really more of like a C student. So I know you're an A student, so you need to do 5 a week. So 5 appointments a week with people who are not already on your team, or not already working, to build those relationships. That is exactly the activity that is so super important, Molly. So you're an A+ student. Did you know that? According to Don Rathman. Pretty good, right?
Awesome. Yeah. 5. It's great.
Yes. And, you know, we talked about one-on-ones in another call that we did earlier this week. And, you know, if you're only having big, you know, events like Salad in a Jars and, you know, Wine and Wellness and things like that, and that's your, you know, your, you know, how you're interacting with your customers pretty much solely, you might be missing, you know, a whole segment of people that maybe are just not interested in coming to an event like that. But maybe getting together for coffee would be right up their alley. And, you know, in my experience, you know, getting together for coffee or for tea or for, you know, even like going to a yoga class or going for a walk or going to lunch or whatever, you know, that's the opportunity to really get to know people more. And that's where, if you have somebody who's on your dream team who you want to invite in to do this with you, being face-to-face, being one-on-one is going to, like, 100% of the time be better than messaging it. I really, really don't think that messaging an invitation to the team works very well. I mean, it might work once in a great while, but, you know, text message, email invitation, Facebook message invitation to the team, you know, it's just not personal. And people don't really understand that when you're inviting someone to join your team, it's because you choose them. You know, when you're inviting someone to join your team, you really are saying, I choose you. I like you. I want to spend more time with you. I think I see something in you. And so if you're not doing that one-on-one with somebody, how are they supposed to really understand that? You know what I mean? And that's part of mission driven versus, you know, opportunity driven. We're not an opportunity driven company. You know, we're not traditional network marketing. We are relationship driven and we're mission driven. And so they have to be able to hear and see your heart when you're making that invitation. I think the same goes with the product. Okay. And then I want Tristyn to share with us, because she's actually going to share her product story next week. But I got a little confused and I was thinking, anyway, it doesn't matter. She's on the schedule for next week to share her product story. But actually, Tristyn, if you want to share your product story, you can just go ahead and do it this week, because Sully, who is supposed to share her product story, isn't on, and maybe she can just pop into your spot for next week. Does that sound good? Do you want to hear? Okay, so Tristyn, I'm really excited for you guys to get to know Tristyn, because, you know, if you guys have people who are super skeptical and like keep hitting you with objections and telling you why they don't believe that this Juice Plus is really working or anything like that, I just want you guys to understand that you can get past that. You have to be patient, but when your belief is strong and when they're open-minded, then, you know, you can get to the other side of that. And I have absolutely come to love Tristyn in the last 2 years. I didn't know her. She's actually Katie Valentine's friend from college. And she is just such a joy to work with. And she's, I want you to talk, Tristyn, first of all, about how many times you reset your goal. Can you share about that to even get to Fast Track? And then just share a little bit about what your journey has been up until this point. And then the other thing I want her to talk about is Tristyn consistently gets 5 customers every single month, at least. A lot of times she's getting more than 5 customers every month. But she is so consistent with adding customers just month after month after month. And, you know, it's not an accident that she's able to do this. So she's going to share a little bit about how she does that. So take it away, girl.
Yeah. So my product story, I guess, I have been for probably the past 3.5 years in a chronic health battle. So I basically found out that I was undiagnosed for about 8 to 9 years with Lyme disease and co-infections, which has then since turned into like adrenal fatigue, thyroid dysfunction, basically a lot of things wrong throughout my body. I, for 8 to 9 years before the diagnosis, had chronic migraines, gut issues, multiple different things. So by the time I learned about Juice Plus, I had, it's probably about a year into my journey. I was a registered nurse and got too sick and ended up, yeah, Mo, I watch you, I listen to your stuff. So yeah, I had to quit my job and move back home. I did a IV line antibiotic, which just destroyed my gut even further and literally was just so depleted. Probably at the time even that I got talking to Carmen and Jenny and Katie, I was not doing much. I was not working. Body just failing. And for me, my nervous system had become super hypersensitive to just about anything. So I couldn't even tolerate treatment. I was literally just at my wit's end and didn't really know what to do. I'd been to a clinic in Arizona. And so honestly, when I heard about Juice Plus, I was like, all right, well, its name is Juice Plus and this is too good to be true, like fruits and vegetables in a capsule. I'm eating all organic. I am super clean, not eating out. Like dry brush, literally do everything that I can for my health. But at the same time, I just felt like, what do you have to lose? Like you can't tolerate treatment. So even if this does nothing, okay, then you wasted 4 months and I probably spent way more on supplements than I had. So honestly, I tried it and I will say like there was optimism inside, hoping that something would happen just because I was so desperate and I wanted something to happen. But nothing really did. And at least, to what I felt outwardly. And again, I kind of went on it blindly, didn't really look at the research, just sort of tried it and didn't really know much about it. And I was literally at the point where I was trying to decide whether or not to continue. And I, on the explore button on Instagram, found someone's post that actually was on Juice Plus and was battling Lyme through it. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? She's claiming that this is good. I reached out to her. She had an amazing testimony with it. So at that point I was like, well, I'll just keep on it and keep trying because it's not making me worse. And that's a plus because everything else seems to make me worse. So, even if it's not doing anything, then I'm just wasting money, whatever. So meanwhile, continuing to press everybody with major resistance and questions and just, wanting to be putting something in my body that's as pure as possible and knowing that I'm doing all of this work to get better. I'm not able to work because I'm too sick. And so I want to make sure that what I'm taking and doing is worth it. So I signed up to be a distributor at that point to make back on my own product. And I knew that there was probably 2 people that I could get so that I could reach my HLP. And from there, I pretty much just stayed stagnant for probably a year. Physically, I just didn't have the energy to do much. And I wasn't sold on the product. I was more just taking it because I was desperate and hoping something would work. So I pretty much stayed that way until September, which is probably like a year and some into being on it and being a distributor. And I was still questioning whether or not I was going to get off the product and, whether or not this was for me. And honestly, just started praying that God would just make it evident to me whether I was supposed to stay on this and whether or not I was supposed to grow my business. And I think that was in September, and I fast tracked to VF in 30 days and got 12 new customers. I mean, literally crazy. So all of these people that I had been talking to, that everybody just hated me because they thought I was getting sucked up by an MLM and they all wanted to be on Juice Plus. So for me, honestly, it's been tough. It has been hard to consistently take something in which I don't really notice the difference. Intellectually, I keep having to cling to take it for the intellectual reason, not in what you see, because even though I'm better definitely than I was, and I'm sure Juice Plus, like, it's attributable to that. There are so many things also that I'm doing on top of Juice Plus. It's hard to know what exactly is happening. And there are many days where I really don't feel well. But for me, it's like, okay, this makes sense. The research is there. And what do I have to lose? And, I had a lot of customer resistance too. And a lot of people like dropping off, like, even though I got a lot of customers, not customers sticking around and no one really having a product story. But I just honestly felt deep inside of me like I just needed to keep going, and I kind of have, and just worked on building my belief, and just really trusting that this is doing something in my body. And so for me, like, I'm very honest with the customers that I talk to and like the prospects that I talk to, and because I don't want to lead them with the expectation that they're gonna feel something, and I think in one of the conferences that I went to, someone said, like, we don't eat broccoli because of what it does for us. Like, we eat it because we know that it's good for us. And so that's why we eat Juice Plus, because we take it for the intellectual reason. If we get a benefit from it, then that's an added benefit. But like, that is not the reason that we take it. And I really try to say that to people, because, then if you get to that 4 months and they don't feel anything like me, then it's like, oh man, what am I taking this for? Why am I spending, this money on this? Because people want results. But when you're dealing with deep-rooted issues like mine, you're not going to see results because it's really working at a cellular level. So that's a little bit, I guess, of my product story. Still, eager to see different things. But I mean, I've had like little glimpses throughout. For example, I have very, very low white blood cells. Like 2.0, which is just awful. And technically, I shouldn't even be able really to fever or anything because I don't have an immune system. And like last year, I think I got 103 fever. And my doctor was like, I can't believe you have a fever right now with that, and then I was thinking about the Juice Plus studies, and I was like, all right, well, maybe that's Juice Plus, or the fact that I'm not getting sick. Like, I haven't had the flu this year and everybody else does. Like, that doesn't make sense with my immune system. So there's a lot of things that don't make sense that I need to really look at and be like, okay, well, Juice Plus is doing something even though I don't feel it. And I think too, it's very easy to not want to admit that it's like doing, because it's like, it's not that, so just honestly, like for me, the biggest thing is just keep with it, even if it doesn't quote unquote feel like it's changing things like it is. And honestly, you just have to trust the process and know that this is good for you and look at the research. And for me, I think the biggest like lesson that I can say for all of you out of my product story is just have good customer service. Because honestly, had it not been for the openness of Carmen, Jenny, and Katie, I would not still be on it. Like, their willingness to answer my questions and my skepticism with love, with grace, with like genuine, hey, I'm going to find this answer for you, like not judgment ever. That is what has kept me on the product. And I can 100% say that from the bottom of my heart. So if you have like skeptical people, understand like where they're coming from, and just really listen to them and try to find the answers, because that is what is honestly kept me with this. So that's that. And then as far as, I guess, what I've been doing, I moved back to New Jersey, and I do not really have anybody here. So it's been really difficult because I don't really have friends. I have a very small family, and the majority of my team is out in Ohio. So for me, honestly, what it's come down to is being really intentional about reconnecting with people, whether that's on Facebook Messenger, whether that's on text. And for me, it's not about reaching out and saying, hey, I want to tell you about a product. It's, hey, how are you doing? Starting a conversation for months. Like, some of these people I messaged months ago. And one, because I genuinely care, and I really like specifically thinking about people too that really could use this, and conversing with them for months and being patient and really just getting to know them, opening the conversation, seeing what's happening in their life, like being intentional with what's going on. And then an opportunity presents itself, and it's like, okay, they share with me a need. 4 months later, this conversation, this relationship has now developed, and I can directly speak to that need. Meanwhile, like, because of that reconnection, my Facebook posts are posting to their wall, and they're seeing me post about different things like inflammation or diet or nutrition, finding different things from functional medicine doctors' quotes and like posting that maybe with something that I'm eating, and just really like seeing how can I bring value to other people through the information I'm sharing. And first, like, you know, really be mission focused. So really just think about, what can I share to bring value to these people's lives? And like, not at all for me looking at it for sale, but like, what can I bring to these people? Because I think the more that you can add value into somebody else's life, like that first and foremost is how I approach my business. And it's been slower to get there, but for me, it just feels more genuine. And honestly, like, even though it took however many months for this to happen, people have been like rolling in or seeing my post or like, hey, I saw you post about fertility, you know, a couple months ago. And I'm like, really excited. I didn't even know that we were friends on Facebook. And so people like reaching out to me that I mean, there's some days where my post will maybe get, especially like on Instagram, like very low amount of likes, but people are watching. And that's something that I really started noticing when people are reaching out to me. So just being intentional about like what you're posting and trying to see how what you're posting can bring value to people. But really also, I think just for me, I've just been forming relationships, forming connections, reestablishing, you know, just really checking in on people and seeing how they're doing. And first and foremost, caring about them. And then perhaps offering them a solution to the problem that they're communicating to me, because I'm now their friend and someone that cares about them.
Wow. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I just want to recap a little bit because we've got about 3 more minutes to what you guys heard tonight, because thank you, Molly, and thank you, Tristyn, for sharing, because there were so many nuggets in here. First of all, you know, you're sharing yourself with people. So be authentic and remember that you're not selling a product, you're sharing yourself. And if, you know, it's a fit for people, awesome, right? But it's not necessarily about, you know, going out and recruiting a bunch of people, right? We're not hunters at all. We are fishermen, and we're building relationships, and we're focused on relationship. Make sure your calendar is full. You know, filling your calendar, you know, if you don't have anything Juice Plus related on your calendar, guys, guess what? Your February is not going to be very good. If you have a full calendar, you're going to have a better business month. Okay. Having, you know, for me, I know as I was moving up in the business, you know, when I have had consistent events on my calendar, which I did for years and years and years, every single month, multiple events every single month, it gave me an opportunity to have a conversation with someone and to invite people to learn more. So that full calendar is a huge success ingredient. Having an attitude of let me reach out, let me say hi, let me make your day just with a smile and a hello, you know, and make it about building the relationships. But then I love how Molly shared, you know, she's sharing Juice Plus with people because they deserve to know about it, not because she wants to make a sale, but because it's something that has worked wonderfully for her and her family, and she wants to make sure people know about it. Planting a lot of seeds and being consistent and intentional with that. So, you know, understanding that sometimes you have to have a conversation for, you know, a pretty long time in order to get someone to actually be open to getting started on Juice Plus or to joining your team. You know, it's about building that relationship. And so, you know, don't rush it, but be intentional with your conversations. Under promising and over delivering when it comes to the product, that is such a huge thing. I know we're all so tempted to, you know, say, oh, you have Crohn's disease. Let me tell you about my friend who, you know, went into remission. You know, that's a true story. Mo put herself into remission, you know, with whole food and lifestyle changes, but it's not that simple, right? We can't say if you take Juice Plus, you're going to be able to go into remission with your autoimmune disease. It's not that simple. And so we really, really have to focus on what the research shows and, you know, encourage those lifestyle changes alongside of it, and just really, you know, make sure that they know intellectually that, you know, that's why you want to be taking Juice Plus. I love what you said, Tristyn, about we don't eat Juice Plus or we don't eat broccoli because of how it's going to make us feel. We eat broccoli because we know it's good for us. And that's the same thing with Juice Plus. Bringing value to people, you know, with everything that you do, saying, how can I add value to this person? How can I add value today? And then just really being mission focused. And remember, our mission is inspiring healthy living. So however we can do that, you know, and add value with that, then we're going to be attracting people to us. And that is going to make our businesses stronger. So thanks, you guys. I thought this was such a great call. I really appreciate you guys getting on. And you know, Tristyn and Molly, you guys sharing. That was so awesome. And we will see you next week. I'm gonna stop the recording.